All right, so we're working in the shop today. It's not quite 2020. This is the last day of 2019. And what could be more fitting than working on an old deux chevaux? It's a Citroen 2CV, cute little thing. There's still, let's see, it's 2:30. We've probably got another 9 hours before it's 2020. So we're going to try to finish this thing up. It's been one of the long ongoing projects that I've had that I take on for a good customer, but she didn't realize there were so many problems with the car. So where we left off last time was the brakes. The front wheels wouldn't roll because the brakes were stuck on, the calipers were seized, and kingpins. So when I'd push or pull, this wheel would flap basically all different directions. I mean, the tires, she said these are brand new tires, would wear out in just a few months because the wheels literally would flap back and forth. So this got all new kingpins and new brake calipers, and the e-brake has been restored. The oil's been changed. We've done some decorative stuff inside with the rear package tray, but I found something else. It just keeps, it's never ending. So let's go through how a Citroen 2CV is suspended here. I'm turning my light on. If you notice, there's this great big cylinder, and I am lacking the French term for the cylinder, but the front control arm, which is right there, attaches with a rod to this big cylinder right here, and the rear control arm, which is right there, attaches via a shock and a rod to this big cylinder, and they push and they pull. It must be a big oil dampening system. I don't think it's the spring unit. Maybe there's a big spring in there. But what I noticed is, I'm going to try to shine light on here. I'm going to put my hand on the wheel, and if you look at this link right here when I push up and down, let's see if I can do it. Look at the play. See the play in there? As I move this tire back and forth, pushing on it. So this is your control arm. This is your link that connects that big shock absorber or dampener to the control arm. And there's a ton of play in there. So I call the my Citroen guy, who is very well respected, and I'm like, I need new end links. He's like, no, you don't. That's the way it's supposed to be. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. That's the way it's supposed to be. It looks completely worn out. That does not seem right. Both sides are that way. The back's probably that way too. I also found that the shocks are really wet there, so it probably needs new shocks as well. I just don't know where to stop with this thing, so we're gonna click along. You can see the other side. I've got the wheel off. I did put new wheel bearings in our freshly cleaned hubs here, and when you put the axle through, they tighten up, so don't worry. But what I don't like is when I grab the whole I guess hub assembly, there's still a little tiny bit of play in this kingpin right here. So I'm going to take this back apart. I'm really hoping that I put in new bushings and new kingpins, but there's still play. That leads me to believe that the actual arm might be worn, which is going to be a real bummer. So I may have to weld in I don't know, weld it up, grind it down, bore it out. I'm not sure what to do. So I'm gonna take this back apart, make sure I did everything right, and try to get the play out of this. But this car has been a bit of a challenge. It's such a sweet little car with its bug-eyed headlights that you can actually pull this cable right here to tilt the lights up or down to make high beams, low beams. That's pretty ingenious. Its little air-cooled engine, 2-cylinder, 602 cc's, horizontally opposed. Runs great now that the brakes aren't being stuck on. And let's put it down and I'll show you what I did on the inside. It's kind of neat. Okay, so we've got our deux chevaux on the ground. And if you don't know much about deux chevaux, they are very easy to work on. Everything is very simple. I had the back seat out. You simply just pop a lever in the back. The whole seat kind of flips forward and comes out, and you can use the seat to sit on for your picnic. But in the back here, between the seat and the storage area, I've got a few parts, but I just installed this new, I guess you call it a package tray, so I had to take the seat out and put that in. The customer did not want people looking down inside the window to see what was in her back boot there. Pretty neat little car. So we're going to keep working on this thing. It is very, very French, oui, oui. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year as we go into the new year. I know 2020 is going to be great for everyone. So it should be good for this car too. Once we get this thing a little more sorted out with the steering and the shocks, we'll take it for a drive. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy that. It's pretty hard not to love one of these little guys. These things weigh about, I don't know, 1,000 pounds. They don't weigh very much. They're large for a microcar. They're not really considered microcar. They're 602 cc's and somewhere between 25 to 35 horsepower. I'm not sure which, but pretty neat. So let's get working on it. Let's get it going, and we'll catch up to you in the new year. Happy New Year.